Hi everyone. Today I thought I would do a video on how I draw faces, mainly because someone requested it and it's as good as any of my own ideas, so I'm gonna steal this. Basically, I broke down how I draw faces. I broke it down into a few steps, so basically I'm just going to take you through those steps. So yeah, before I start I just want to say that there are a few differences between how I draw stylized characters and how I draw semi-realistic faces. I'm going to be focusing on my stylized character today, but every now and then I might just give you a little tip if you're looking to draw more realistic faces. Basically, realistic faces, you just need a lot more shapes to like block out those cheekbones and jaw and stuff. My characters, they don't really have a jaw, it's just a blob, which makes life easier for me. Not so much if you're looking to learn something, but there we go. Okay, so the first thing that I tend to do is draw the summoning circle of doom. Try and make it look like a circle. There we go. Okay, so this is the same for either style. You always have to start with your summoning circle, otherwise no face is going to appear. I know not everyone uses this, but I find it, even if I don't stick to it, it's like a nice guide to kind of block out where the face is going to be on the page, if nothing else. So the next thing I do is line up the facial features by doing an X marks the spot. There we go. So basically this horizontal line is going to be a guide for where the eye sockets are going to be. I tend to do the cross right in the middle of the square, but some people do the horizontal line slightly higher up because then it would represent the brow bone. But I like to do it with the eye sockets, again, because I'm doing like a cartoony style, so it just works better. So yeah, I'm just going to do a front-facing face at the moment, just so you get the gist. So none of my lines are straight because my camera's in the way, so I apologise. So yeah, having these lines, this line is going to show the centre of the face, so the nose and the mouth are going to be on this line, and the two eye sockets are going to be on the horizontal line, just so they match up. Because you're not always going to be drawing a front-facing face, so if you have this line, even if it's like curved like that, the two eyes are still going to line up on this line, even though they don't line up, at 90-degree angle. So the next thing I'm going to do are the eye sockets. So basically I'm just going to do a very rough circles at this point. Again, this is the same for if I'm drawing realistic faces. It's just an eye socket, it's not the actual eyeball. So when you draw realistic faces, you can cut the eye down so that it's a lot smaller and more realistic sizes. I'm not going to do that so much today because I draw giant eyeballs on all my characters. So the next thing I do are cheeks and chin. So for my cartoony style, I just add a little bit onto the bottom of the circle, bringing it to a point, a very rounded point, and a rounded chin. There we go. Basically just a blob. It's not very anatomically correct, that's the word. But there we go. For realistic drawings, you'd bring this jawline way down, and then you'd add like some cheekbones here. And if you think of like contouring makeup, you'd have like a cheek line here, and then this bit would be darker. I realise this isn't a great example because I'm trying to not scribble over this too much. So the next thing I do is nose and ears. And the reason I do these together is because the nose and ears should line up. So again, if you think about this guide and the two eye sockets would line up on this line, if you do one underneath, the nose and ears would line up on the same line. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a very rough guide because you don't want, let's draw over here. say if you you did a nose here, you're not going to have ears way up there unless it's some kind of animal or some kind of stylized thing that you're choosing to do. Same thing, if you did nose here, you're not going to have ears way down here just because they don't match up. So I'm just gonna, again, I'm not gonna nean it up just yet. I'm gonna do circle for the nose, and then so the bottom of the nose comes to about there, and then I'm gonna have the ears right about there. So the next thing I'm going to do is the mouth, and the reason I do this before adding any detail is because the mouth shape can often dictate the eye shape because all the muscles in the face are connected together. So if you were to do, I'm going to do another example, this page is going to be a mess. Okay, so say you were to have, there we go, just do what I've already done. Say you were to have a really smiley face. That would push up the muscles, imaginary muscles in the cheek, so that you'd have like one of these lines at the bottom of the eye. Similarly, if you were to have, do this quickly again, if you were to have like a kind of face, you're not going to have that same pull of muscles because all the muscles are going to be pulled down because of that's the direction that the mouth is pulling. It can work in certain circumstances because this looks like super sad, welling up in the eyes kind of face. But like if you wanted just a neutral face, then the eyes wouldn't have any, all the cheek muscles would just be relaxed, so they wouldn't be affecting the eyes in any way. So you just have, you probably can't tell what that is, but you'd basically you don't have to pay attention to the cheek muscles as much if the mouth is neutral, because the cheeks would be down here. So I think I'm going to do a pretty neutral face for this first example. So I'm just going to have the mouth be down here. You can, sometimes I do stylize them by adding lips like that, and I tend to do mouths very small. I also always have the top lip a shade darker than the bottom lip. I don't know why, it just looks better that way. The last step would be to kind of stylize it, and this is where a lot of variation really takes place. So I think for this one, I'm just gonna try and replicate my character as best I can, and she's always kind of moody. So your eyebrows are very useful to convey a certain emotion. I wouldn't say I stylize eyebrows too much, I just tend to do like weird long triangles and then shape them however I need to. So she's gonna have, okay, I kind of messed up, but she's just gonna have very neutral eyebrows, and then I tend to just take off the top bit of the eye, so that forms an eyelid. And then I'm gonna have these big eyeballs kind of looking up. And then I round out the edge of the eye just because that's how I like to draw. And then I guess you just add hair. I like to think of it, so this is the top of the head. Obviously usual heads go up a bit more, but so I'm going to say this is the edge of the forehead. So I'm just going to add like a very rough kind of hairline. There we go. And then you can just kind of style it out. So she has big long fringe, kind of puffy hair at the side, and then cover up all that hairline with actual hair. And she has these little pigtails. I usually add like a little X on the ears as well, just to make them more eerie. And I think the biggest variation between characters in this style for me is the eyes and nose. So she's got quite big eyes because she's quite young. The bigger the eyes, the younger your character looks. And then for the nose, she's gonna have like a little button nose. So I just add like a V shape here and then round it out with some shading. It's kind of difficult to tell because I've gone over it so many times, but yeah, that's generally how I sketch out characters. Okay, to make that all a little clearer, I'm just going to do it again, and this time I'm going to add a couple of extra steps. Well, one extra step. I'm going to do a sketch first in a coloured pencil, basically repeating all the steps I just did, and then I'm going to go over it with a pen just so you can see what lines I actually count as clean and what are just like guides, because I know it's difficult to tell if everything's the same colour. So I'm going to make it look a little bit sassy in this one. Once again, do the summoning circle. She's going to be looking off in this direction, I think. Can you see that? There we go, now I can actually see it. Sorry about that, my camera was on the wrong setting. So, you got the summoning circle, she's going to be looking off into this direction. But she's going to be looking over her shoulder slightly, so the centre of her face is going to be this way. Just remember to think of this as a ball and not just a circle, so it's a fully 3D shape. So, you know, if she's going to be looking directly upwards, the centre point of her face is still going to be in the middle, but the ball is going to tilt upwards so that her face is going to be, her eye sockets are going to be on this line, looking up, and there's going to be less space at the top and more space at the bottom because of the way her head is tilted. Same way, if she's looking to the right, she's going to have the center line is going to move this way, and the ball is going to tilt slightly. I think it's always better to have these rounded guidelines instead of straight ones because it just makes your character look a bit more dynamic. So like you can have it so she is just literally facing that way, but it's not as interesting as this one because it adds a little bit of depth to it and like kind of forced perspective because this one is going to be, this eye is going to be further away than this eye. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's up to you. It's worth, this cross I think is one of the most important steps for me at least, just because it really helps to get the expression across. It's not so much important to your character design, but it is when you're trying to make that character look a certain way or feel a certain emotion, you know? So, she's going to be looking up this way, so ball is going to be tilted slightly and there's going to be a rounded line. Eye sockets. Again, like I said, you can change the size of these depending on what your style is. It's worth experimenting with a range of different sizes so you can see which ones you like best. If you're stuck in that you haven't really found a style yet, the best way to get over that is to just try as many different things as you can instead of, you know, just repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So cheeks and chin, she's facing this way, so her cheek is gonna pop out a little bit more than what it did on the full one, and her jaw is gonna connect with the back of her head here. So that's like the edge of her face, and that's the line where her jaw joins up and where her ear is gonna go. And then this is like a little cheek. I usually do a little divot next to the eye socket, and then a little brow bone, and it comes back and joins up with the summoning circle from the beginning. So, nose and ears. She's gonna have a little button nose again, and then that is gonna come around here. You can't see this ear because it's gonna be hidden behind her head because she has quite small ears. And then this ear is gonna be about here. I think on this one I've put the jaw a little bit too low actually, so I'm just gonna take this line up. This is why we draw in pencil first, so that we can fix mistakes. Yeah. There we go. So mouth, she's gonna have quite a neutral mouth because she's quite a moody character. I don't tend to put that much detail into mouths when I'm doing cartoony stuff, just because I find it very difficult to do a range of mouth shapes with lips. And that's just me. I can do a neutral mouth with lips, but I can't do like a smiling mouth with lips and make it look good. That's just maybe I'll find a way one day, but for now I just do a line for a mouth. So now we gotta style it out. Maybe I should add eyebrows as a step before this, because they are important to the facial expression. So she's gonna be like, what's going on here? So she's gonna do like a weird smirky thing with her eyebrows. Eyebrows are the most important thing on the face when you're trying to give an expression to a character. I have found eyebrows change everything. So she's gonna be looking up here. So I'm just gonna do another ovally shape. There we go. She is also a lady, and obviously in cartoons the only way you can tell the difference between male and females are eyelashes. That was a joke, by the way, but historically that has been correct. You just slap you just slap eyelashes on a character design and it immediately makes it female. I just think it's funny, but I do want to give her a hint of eyelashes, and the way I do that is just add like a little curve here to the top of her eyelid, and because she's looking up you can't really see any eyelid in this one, but I'm just going to add a little mark here at the front just to give the illusion of it. And then her cheek going to be right there. Some people like to draw these little cheeks in, I do sometimes as well, but I don't think I'm going to on this one. It's still useful to know where they are. I might do little marks at the very top of her cheek. My face is very long in this one. Maybe I should have made it a bit smaller, but oh well. And then add the little divot for her ear, and then think about the hairline. I don't really count this as a step because I think it, especially for this character, her hair covers her hairline, so it doesn't really matter. But if you're having a character with all the hair pulled back, it is useful to block out the hairline. So there we go. She's bowled. And then we're gonna have if you're feeling real fancy, you can even give a neck to your character. And it's crazy, right? But I'm even gonna give mine a shoulder. I'm gonna have the light coming from this direction where she's looking into the light basically, so the shadow is gonna fall darker this side. And she is also obviously some kind of knight because that's the only kind of characters I draw at the moment. So I'm just gonna add her chainmail and her little... It's the same guidelines as what I did before. Just so you can see how the character would look when it's finished, I'm gonna line it real quick I can't find my favourite pen, but this will have to do. So I have quite a lot of angular edges in this kind of style. You don't have to have that, obviously. It's up to ear. Kind of messed up where her neck connects. It should be a little bit further back, like here. Just pretend that this line isn't here, that was a mistake. Then her little eyelid line. I'm gonna add just a couple lines for the top of her cheeks just to make her look a bit scruffier, because I like it when my characters look a bit rough. And then I can add a top lip maybe. And then for her nose, I tend to outline it, so that's where the darkest bit would be. And then if you think about it again like a 3D object, like the ball of a head, then the bottom would be around here. So this would be the underside of her nose. And then I just shade that in very lightly. And then if you want to add some more definition to it, you can add like a little line at the top to show that it's like a cute little button nose. And yeah, that's it. It's a... Sorry that the example that I used was so messy and I messed up the neck, but that is essentially how I draw faces. So I think I'm going to cut it off here because I've been drawing for like half an hour and I don't want to edit this too much, just so you understand how I do the things that I do. I think I might just put a couple more examples in here. I'm recording this before I've done it, so hopefully I did the work. But yeah, I'm just going to show the sketch, the summoning circle and the cross that I do, how I fill that in with a bit more detail, and then I'm going to line them. So, hopefully you saw that just now. But yeah, hopefully this was useful. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know how you do it, my voice is very annoying. But I will hopefully see you around in the next one. My camera just died. Okay, bye!